Hey there YouTube lovers, my name is BB8 and today I am going to do a potential update Nintendo Switch Online could have within the year of 2023. And with next year being 5 years since Nintendo Switch Online launched, I do think the service does need to be updated a bit. Just to add a bit more value to Switch Online and make it a bit more better and have more content included within it. I was gonna title the video Fixing Nintendo Switch Online, but that does sound a bit clickbaity and you all know what happened the last time. And I thought, so I just titled it Nintendo Switch Online 2023 Update Concept. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? To start off, I'm going to do a 1 month, 3 month plan for the expansion pack. Like, I do think a 1 month, 3 month plan does need to be added, only because I have heard that people have been complaining on the internet about the expansion pack only having a 12-month plan. But with the addition of 1 month and 3 month plans, I do think that could make the expansion pack inclusive to more people, and I do think that you would be paying less for the expansion pack, which the 1 month, 3 month plan doesn't really affect me, because I pay half for what the expansion pack costs in the UK, because I do end up getting a Nintendo Switch Online gift card for Christmas every year, so I only pay half of what the expansion pack costs, and I don't think a third tier is needed. But if they were to introduce games such as DS and Wii, I think they will put them in the eShop, not within Nintendo Switch Online. For the Gamecube games, I was shattered that Gamecube wasn't revealed for Nintendo Switch Online, because I do think it would have been the perfect time to bring Gamecube out with Pikmin 4 out next year. I do think Gamecube would fit perfectly next year to tie in with the new Pikmin game, giving players a chance to visit the original 2 while they wait for Pikmin 4. And Gamecube games on Nintendo Switch Online would only launch with 9. I do see 9 games being realistic for Gamecube, only due to the high value that Gamecube games have. And I would see them raising the price of Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack, or Nintendo Switch Online in general, only because of the value that the Gamecube games have. And the Gamecube NSO service would have a similar release strategy to the Nintendo 64, where they only release 1 game per month, not 3. So the ones I see them releasing at launch are Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, Mario Kart Double Dash, Super Mario Strikers, Pikmin, Kirby Air Ride, Metroid Prime, and F-Zero GX. The fake roadmap I have made for Nintendo Switch Online is mainly based on the lineup and release timing I have seen from the SNES and Nintendo 64 Nintendo Switch Online service is. So, games such as F-Zero may have been there when the SNES service launched, but weren't there when the Nintendo 64 launched. But I would see them bringing F-Zero GX to the service. Because not only is F-Zero sort of coming back into the spotlight with the addition of NSO, but I do feel like bringing F-Zero to Nintendo Switch Online could actually build up to F-Zero making its potential comeback. And each GameCube game with multiplayer involved would end up being reworked to run at 60 frames per second, handheld and docked. And for the online play, it wouldn't only just be friends this time, but with anyone, unlike NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, and Mega Drive. And not only can GameCube games have been reworked for 60 frames per second, handheld and docked, but will also contain the original aspect ratio and widescreen as well. So if you do play your GameCube games in widescreen, the P1 with your Nintendo Switch icon will be hidden because I don't see the reason to have it there. So, here is the roadmap that I have made for GameCube. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door wouldn't launch with the GameCube Nintendo Switch Online only because the original Paper Mario didn't with the original Nintendo 64 Nintendo Switch Online lineup. So I don't see the Thousand Year Door making it in there at launch either. Smash Melee, this is quite a popular one, but I don't really see it launching with the GameCube lineup, only because we haven't had Smash 64 added to Nintendo Switch Online yet. And with Super Smash Bros. Melee probably being one of the most popular Smash games, that I could see them adding it sooner than Smash 64. And Pikmin 2. Probably having the sequel style situation with the lineup, with Zelda Twilight Princess, Metroid Prime Echoes, and Pikmin 2 making it in later on, because I wouldn't see the lineup launching with two games from the exact same franchise, but with a few exceptions in here. So the rest of year one will be The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Metroid Prime Echoes, Chibi Robo, even though the franchise is technically dead now, so why not play the original, Star Fox Adventures, Mario Superstar Baseball, Mario Power Tennis, Fire Emblem, and Star Fox Assault. For year 2, 1080 Degree Avalanche, Mario Parties 4 to 7, only because Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 didn't make it to Switch Online within N64's first year, so I would see Mario Party making it into the second year. Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Yet again, this does have the same situation as Nintendo 64, Nintendo Switch Online, but also I would see Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness making it into year 2 as well. Wario World, and I know I couldn't come up with any other GameCube game, but I just used the last 4 as fillers. Sonic Adventure Deluxe, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Riders. The reason I filled it with Sonic games is only because with Sega Genesis Nintendo Switch Online, we have been getting Sonic games within the Nintendo Switch Online service. And I could see it being added with a new Sonic game as well within Sonic Advance. for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. It's just a bummer we didn't get these this year either, because it has actually been data mined that Game Boy Advance would come to Nintendo Switch Online. And the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online would share an app with each other. But there would be a tab at the top where you can switch between the two libraries. I don't see mainline Pokemon games being a part of this, due to the amount of features packed into them and Pokemon Home support as well. And the Game Boy would be offered to standard Nintendo Switch Online members, whilst Game Boy Advance is locked behind the expansion pack. So, the library for Game Boy would be Tetris, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Land, Super Mario Land, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Mario Golf, Wario Land, Metroid 2 The Return of Samus, Kirby's Dream Land, Pokemon Trading Card Game, Pokemon Pinball, Shantae, The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages, The Legend of Zelda The Oracle of Seasons, and Harvest Moon for the Game Boy Color. For the Game Boy Advance, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap, Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Super Mario Advance 1, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario Tennis Power Tour, Golden Sun, Advance Wars, Yoshi Topsy Turvy, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, WarioWare Inc., Fire Emblem, Wario Land 4, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I would see all of them being reworked to have online support as well, and not just with their original aspect ratios like the Gamecube, but with widescreen as well. And I know there's people going to be asking in the comments about the Pokemon games, but like I just said, the mainline Pokemon games wouldn't be available through Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online libraries, but will be made available through the eShop individually. And each game will be reworked to feature Pokemon Home support, online and local wireless, a variety of aspect ratios, filters, and a lot more. The compatibility update for Pokemon Stadium and Stadium 2 would finally allow users to bring their favorite Pokemon to battle on the Nintendo 64. So I would see them doing a bit of reworking with Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2 as well, just to make sure the experience stays true to the original as possible. And these games can also be available for non-Nintendo Switch Online members as well, but they would have to buy them. But if you are a Nintendo Switch Online member, you could play them at no extra cost. And I would see this being divided into waves as well, with Wave 1 featuring Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Green for the first time outside of Japan, and Pokemon Yellow. For Wave 2, I see Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Wave 3 will have Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And Wave 4 will have Fire Red and Leaf Green, but Waves 3 and 4 will be locked behind the expansion pack because they're from the Game Boy Advance, not the original Game Boy. And speaking of Pokemon, Pokemon Home, to tie in with the first wave of Pokemon games, would end up becoming available to expansion pack owners at no extra cost. I do think this would be a game changer for the expansion pack as well, only because the only problem with Pokemon Home is it is its own subscription service from Nintendo Switch Online. And in my opinion, I do think Pokemon Home should be offered as a synced subscription service with Nintendo Switch Online. So whenever you cancel your Nintendo Switch Online subscription, your Pokemon Home subscription will be cancelled as well. But if users can still pay for Pokemon Home separately if they wanted to, but the option for NSO plus expansion pack is there. So every Pokemon game that was on the Switch so far, starting from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee up until Scarlet and Violet, and the legacy titles will be available as well, with Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2 being reworked, but as read-only, not read and write. So the new game trial system, unlike Nintendo Switch Online game trials originally, the new game trial system would work similarly to PlayStation Plus game trials. 4 random games, like probably one of the more expensive ones, would be picked from the eShop each month. And unlike the old game trial system, where you only have a week in real time to play as much of the game as possible, the new game trial system will be different, because you will only have till the end of the month to download the trial game to your system, or you won't have access to that trial. If you have downloaded a trial title, you have access to it until your 5 hours is up, even if you are beyond the month that game has been trialed for. And each game will have a 5 hours maximum playtime, and once you've completed your 5 hours, you will lose access to the game until you buy it. And 5-hour timers will be programmed into each trial game, so players can look at how long they have left. And once you buy it after your trial, you should be able to continue your game from where you left off, instead of starting from the beginning. I do think this system could help me decide if I should buy or skip games, because I'm not gonna lie, I hadn't had any experience with Xenoblade, and I'm really enjoying Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But if we had a game like Fire Emblem Three Houses in here, this could give me the chance to witness the game before I actually buy it. Because there are still a whole bunch of Switch games I haven't bought yet. Like, I know demos exist, but for games that don't have demos, I do think this could be good. For the DLC, I could possibly see some DLC coming to Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack within the next year or two. But the whole DLC system for Nintendo Switch Online would only offer DLC for games with online multiplayer involved. So DLC such as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild expansion pass and the expansion passes for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 would not get the NSO treatment. So for Splatoon 3's DLC, I would see this coming in 2023, similar to how Splatoon 2 Octo expansion was offered through Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass doesn't really affect me because I have all the fighters already. But the first Fighters Pass I could see getting added to the NSO lineup just to boost the roster for some people who don't own the DLC but don't own the NSO expansion pack. I know this doesn't exist yet, but the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet expansion pass, like, it could get an expansion pass like Sword and Shield, and I could see it be included with Switch Online. But But finally, Fighters Pass Volume 2, I don't see getting added to it until 2024, only because of Fighters Pass 1. Yeah, just to give a bit of time in between adding them. So the following Fighters Pass Volume 2 would probably come a bit later, unlike Fighters Pass Volume 1. And I bet the only purpose for these, if you already own the Fighters Passes, like you didn't buy the Fighters Pass, but you bought all the fighters in it, the only purpose for them really is probably an NSO locked Mii costume. Which I don't know how on earth that's gonna work, but still. So for the Nintendo Switch shop, the Nintendo Switch shop could end up replacing the Nintendo eShop due to the shutdown of the Wii U and 3DS eShop in 2023. I think 2023 is the best time to revamp the shop, make it faster and easier to navigate. The new Nintendo Switch shop would bring over all the titles featured in the old Nintendo eShop, and the new features the Nintendo Switch shop would have is being able to buy hardware and amiibo from the Nintendo Switch shop, Nintendo Switch Lab, which would end up being a first for Nintendo Switch Online members, which means for the first few weeks that Nintendo Switch Lab would come out, then Nintendo Switch Online members would get access to them first, but would be available to everyone at a later date. The same with themes. For Nintendo Switch Lab, an idea I've had for years, and if you have seen my Nintendo Switch UI video that I have recently retitled due to the title sounding a bit clickbait-ish, I originally came up with the idea because of Xbox Design Lab. So years ago, I made a concept trailer for it, I think back in 2018 or 2019, but the editing was terrible. But unfortunately, the concept video trailer has been lost due to its deletion because the video performed poorly. So I brought back the idea last year, and that ended up doing quite well for the channel. And I loved the idea so much, I thought I would bring it up again. Basically, what Nintendo Switch Lab is that it is similar to Xbox Design Lab, where you can customize your own Nintendo Switch Lite, the Nintendo Switch OLED model, which wasn't out at the time I made that video, and Nintendo Switch controllers to your own custom color, changing the color of the shell, and the buttons as well as the analog sticks, even the dock. And you can order this directly from your Nintendo Switch or PC if logged into your Nintendo account. For the themes, this would be another first for Nintendo Switch Online members, but themes could either be purchased from the Nintendo Switch shop or unlocked through earning achievements. Themes, finally making their return from the Nintendo 3DS, could make personalizing your Nintendo Switch console a bit better. The Nintendo Switch themes would have music built into them that you can turn on and off at any time, which means music with the themes is optional this time around. Unique lock screen sounds when you press the buttons, which means when you perform certain actions on the home screen, that instead of playing the sound that usually plays when you press a certain icon or button, the sound effect would be changed to go along with that theme, and unique backgrounds. And as well, you can create your own theme with a screenshot you have taken from your Nintendo Switch for free, but unfortunately you won't be able to equip music and custom sounds with it. and over 1,000 of them would be developed by first and third-party developers just for Nintendo Switch. I wonder what a theme for D.Va from Overwatch would actually be like. You know, I would actually buy that immediately. For the achievements, this is a feature I've wanted for a long time, but although this feature will be available to everyone, similar to Switch Lab and themes, Nintendo Switch Online users would get access to this feature first. The achievement system would work the same way as Xbox achievements and PlayStation trophies, and it is not hard to program achievements into the games, since third-party games on Switch may already have achievements programmed into them for other platforms. It's just the first-party games that need to program achievements into their games. And with them, you can unlock themes and player icons by completing certain achievements, and a menu will show up on your player page with the games you've earned achievements from and the rankings to indicate which friend has earned the most achievements for which game. So for the cross-progression services, unlike the previous features I just mentioned, this one will be exclusive to Switch Online members entirely, both the standard tier and the expansion pack. These services will come with a free update to each game, adding support to these services, which will use an AI to sync your data with these services to bring content, stats, and rewards to the installment forward. And all installments of these franchises going forward would have these services built in. So for Super Mario Maker Hub, this service will sync your Mario Maker 2 online profile to bring all the levels you have made and even your Super World to Super Mario Maker Hub, which allows NSO users to play Super Mario Maker levels from all over the world, even if they don't own Mario Maker 2. If you don't own Mario Maker, you can still get access to playing levels, you just can't make levels. And Super Mario Maker Hub will support Super Mario Maker 2 first, but would be implemented into Super Mario Maker 3 at launch. Splatoon Link. This service will sync with Splatoon 2, Splatoon 3, and Splatoon Remastered, which I will get to in the Splatoon 3 DLC concept video, and which will bring over your stats, weapons, cosmetics, table turf cards from Splatoon 3, and your currency, and would bring them all in between Splatoon games and Splatoon games yet to come to make sure that no player leaves their weapons behind. I don't know why on earth they didn't do this with Splatoon 2, actually allowing you to bring your weapons to Splatoon 3. I do think that would have been better than just getting gold Sheldon tickets. For Super Smash Bros. Vault, a free update would come to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, adding Super Smash Bros. Vault. This service would bring over your spirits, music tracks, and fighters to Super Smash Bros. 6. Super Smash Bros. Vault would end up being a permanent feature within the Smash series and would be available in Super Smash Bros. 6 at launch. Animal Crossing Storage Room. This service will bring over your villagers, furniture, and bells from New Horizons to Animal Crossing 6. If you do use Animal Crossing Storage Room with New Horizons, the beginning of Animal Crossing 6 will be different, meaning that unlike New Horizons where you started off with 2 villagers, if you don't use Storage Room, with Animal Crossing 6, you will start off with 2 villagers once again, but if you do use Storage Room, all your villagers from New Horizons will still be there. And for Mario Kart Garage, this service will allow users to bring over stats, carts, and Mii costumes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to Mario Kart 9. Which means not only will you unlock new carts in Mario Kart 9, but you will have access to the ones you unlocked in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe right from the start. And finally, to end it off, the new Nintendo Switch Online app. The new Nintendo Switch Online app would end up being a major improvement to the already existing Nintendo Switch Online app. Tons of new features will be packaged into the Nintendo Switch Online app after this update. And not only is there an update, but it would also come to tablet and PC alongside it. And the new features would include remote install, allowing users to remotely install games and DLC to their Nintendo Switch from their phone as long as their Nintendo Switch is connected to the internet. Nintendo Switch Loop, allowing users to play Nintendo Switch games and classics through cloud streaming from their Switch to their phone, tablet, laptop, or PC. But you do need a good internet connection for this. And expanding on the Nintendo Switch Loop part, the service would be powered by an algorithm which would lock away the code from hackers to prevent modders. Touch controls and keyboard and mouse controls will be programmed into each game to allow users to play certain games on certain devices, such as playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on PC, or playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on your phone. So for the new online services, Mario Maker 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and a lot more would get their own game-specific service within the app. The Nintendo Switch Shop, allowing users to browse the Nintendo Switch Shop from their phone, and the profile, meaning that the users can check their achievements, stats, and which friends are playing right from their phone. So guys, what did you think of this new Nintendo Switch Online update concept? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and turn your notification bell on so you don't miss another video like this one. And there is a lot that Nintendo Switch Online could offer within 2023, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully we do get Gamecube games and Game Boy/Game Boy Advance in 2023. But I will see you all in a future video. BB8 out.